just open and shut that wasp in here. I'm in Kettering at the moment. Yeah. Kettering. And I'm trying to put some organisation to this fucking sack of shit they call keys, because they just seem to be, you know, when you have a bunch of keys, there's a certain point where they're either just a mess, too much, and you need to just correct it, and that's what I'm doing now, because it just drives me up the wall. Yeah, and this is the one where you have to, there's two keys, right, because you got one for the ignition and one for the door, because obviously at some point the I would say it would be the ignition. Yeah, the ignition must have broken at one point, so they've changed the ignition, and that's the reason why I have two keys. But yeah, happy days, as they say. Trying to get it all unbolted. There's nothing worse having keys going clatter clatter, clatter clatter, clatter clatter, clatter clatter up the side of the steering column. It fucking drives me soft, it does. Yeah, what can we do? What can we do? What can we do? Make it a bit more user friendly is the word I'm looking for. User friendly. What the fucking thing could do clean off? That could do with it. The whole fucking truck could do with a bloody good clean. I mean, some of the shit. I mean, I don't know if you can see that at all. But, just down the side of the chair. Right. Let's see all that shit down there. Yeah. It's another one of those spectacular vehicles, isn't it? Truckers with pride, eat your heart out. You'll never get a better truck than this. That's for the door, isn't it? So if we put that on there, I think, would that be the best place for us? I don't know. I'll go that way with that one. That's the ignition. I feel like I need another ring. Another ring. I might have a spare one somewhere in back. From the multitude of rings that I steal off different keys when I'm faffing. Because what I tend to do is if I get a bunch of keys that are just an absolute fucking mess, I end up stripping them down and making them put them into some sort of order. I don't know why I do that, but it's just one of those things, I'm afraid. It's something I just can't explain. Yeah. Maybe I might have a borderline OCD of some sort, I don't fucking know. I can't see that being true, mind you, because if you've seen the state of my house, then you go, you ain't sunshine. And I'd have to agree with you. But here we are, I've got some spare rings. If you see the fucking pile of rings I've got at home in my drawer. Oh dear, yes, I have got quite a few. Yeah, to get this so it works right. Yeah. The reason why I say works right, because you have to think about, when you put things onto these rings, you have to think about how you get them on there. That might seem a bit stupid, but you do, because this particular thing here has a card that you have to slide up and take it out. It's a fuel card. But if it's on the inside of that, it makes things a bit awkward, so you want it on the outside, and you want it on the outside of that, so that there is the registration of the vehicle, so you want that pointing the other way, so you're going to make, I see, I do think of these things, you know. You're like there, but thinking, fuck, this guy's off his fucking head today. Yeah, it's probably about right. I don't feel fucking 100%, to be fair. I'm still feeling a bit shitty. That's going to be okay, right? Come on. Do not fuck me about. Not work that way. Won't do. Is that right? You will see. Yeah, that'll do. There we go. Yeah, I still ain't right, you know. I still don't feel 100%. The soreness in my throat on this one side, obviously on the inside, when I swallow, that's now starting to slowly go away. But again, like I say, I'm just not fucking perfect. Not as I should be, anyway. So we've got that. I think we can stick you on there, I reckon. That's good enough. We don't need to put any more rings on that, so that's that bit done. Yeah, then we got the fuel key. See, and then we've got an added extra vehicle reg tab, which, to be honest with you, we don't fucking need. So that's going. Fuck it off. Ta-da! Stupid thing. I'm gonna put the fobby thingy, what's we call it, on here as well. We want that on that side. Put it on that side. Should be down there. It don't really matter which way that goes, so because I don't care. So that can go on there like that. I'll tell you what. That's for the ignition, isn't it? Yes, right. That's the ignition one, so we can put that there. And then we've got this fuel key. We might as well shove that on there, I suppose, because that's the door. We can put that on there. Yeah, why not? Why not indeed? Shiver on the fucker on here, be fine. From that side though, or that side. Where should we put you? I think we're going to have to put it that side, aren't we? No, not in the middle. Because not on the end, because it means the door key will be in the middle, and that'll be outward. So we're going to put it on this end instead. See, forethought, thinking ahead. So if we do it like this. So now we've got door key, which then will be sort of that mess, which is better than what it was. That could do being rotated round. That could, we're going to have to fetch it off and twist it round. I know it's got to be done, honestly. So I'm taking it off like that, and I'm going to make sure when I put it back on again, it's got to be that way up, I think. Hoping that's right anyway, so that when it's there you go. So then instead of being sticking up the air like that, it's dangling down. Where the fuck's the fuel? Oh, sorry, we do. And so that's that. So now we can put the ignition key onto that one there. Use for a second. Mr. Fizzbox is just a noisy twat. So we want this to be up against the steering column, and because of the shape of these keys, right, believe it or not, they've been designed in a way, right, this is going to really interest you now, to fit between your finger and your thumb, right? A lot of people may not see that, but this has got a little groove. This here, look, right? That is where your thumb goes, right? And the curved back is where your finger wraps around the edge of it, right? What I don't get is why people, when they put because that's into the ignition, but why is it that people put them upside down? I don't get that. And it just, yeah, that's another one of those kind of things that really sort of drives me daft. I can't explain why they do that, but it just does. So strategically, we're going to have to put it in that way, I think. It's just, I hope that's the right way. If not, we'll take it and do it again. Right. See what I mean? Voila. Absolutely fucking fan-dabby-dozy. There. Yeah, so there you have it. One set of keys organised. With the lack of a tab as well. We don't need it. It's pointless. There's already one there. Why have two? Why clutter the? I don't like cluttering keys up. It's just it's crap. I'll beat it later. Nobody will know the wiser. Yeah. It's another one of these wonderful things. Yeah. More crap. It's just a mess. It just is an absolute. I mean, believe it or not, if there was a big skip bin around here, all the crap that I could find, I would just fucking gather it up and shove it in the skip. Because there's no need for it. There really ain't no need for it at all. There's just no need. No fucking need. I might have a break while I'm here, hadn't I? I say that because it's 11:15 now. He says come back in 45 minutes. That was at past. So, yeah. There you go. I'll give myself a bit of a break here. I've got shitloads of drive time left anyway, so we tell like I've got. I'm looking forward to that thing turning off. Why couldn't he have parked the fucking thing over there? Why does he have to go and shove it here next to me? Bugger. I feel sorry for drivers who have to drive those things and they have to have a night out with that thing buzzing behind them. How do you do that? I mean, you've got to be some kind of specially deaf, haven't you, to drive one of these things? Fucking atrocious. He's moving. Awesome. I know obviously that we have to have these things. It ain't like as though there's any way out of it. It just has to be done, doesn't it? But see, now we can have fresh air. Have the door open, just chill out. Instead of having to breathe the noxious shit that's in here, which is the stink of fags. The guy has got this spray, this deodorant, no, what do you call it? Yeah. It's an air freshener spray which is very, very potent. Right. When I opened the door this morning to get it, because the first vehicle I had, which is the one I wanted to have, for some unknown reason, it came up with the ABS. Yes, fine, that's the fucking trailer. It had engine warning, exhaust system warning, and then engine, power limiting. And I'm like, fuck me, this is shit. I had the truck yesterday, it was perfectly fine. Honestly, perfectly fine yesterday. And then all that shit came on, so I swapped out of this fucking rancid sack of fucking spewy bollocks and stinking of fags and what have you. And then when I went to go and park up the truck, the other one, all the fucking warnings had gone off. It had reset itself. I'm like, but it was too late now because I'd already fucking put my card in, and because the tacho's out of time on this vehicle to the other one, it comes up saying time overlap. I'm like, who gives a fuck about time overlap? I don't care. Fuck you too. I'm already fucking suffering in this fucking heap of fucking rancid bollocks. So anyway, my morning went really well. Yeah, I know. I mean, I think I might even get myself a dustpan and brush for me. What I would like to have though is one of those Dyson little handheld, bit like a dust buster that used. But I'll tell you what, I'm almost sure. I've got a funny feeling I've got a dust buster somewhere upstairs in my loft, up in the loft. I'm sure I have. I'll have to have a look, but one of those Dyson things, I'd love one of them, I would. Oh well, yeah. Because these trucks seriously need it, seriously. Do you know what I wouldn't want to do, right, with these particular vehicles? And anybody out there as well who actually drives a shit stick like this thing, and it's not your fault. What I wouldn't want you to advise you doing is driving into a dark garage, no lights on, and then spray this with fucking luminol. That is just something I would never recommend anybody do. Because as soon as you spray this thing with luminol and it finds things that you do not want to know, you will just literally fucking you'd want to shed your skin. You know what I mean? You just want to go and just leave that behind, because it'd be just. This is probably the reason why I say I'm ill most of the time these days. But yeah, you know what I mean, don't you? Would you really want to do that? As a matter of fact, I think it'd be quite interesting if it was took to a laboratory somewhere. Any one of our vehicles, you don't know which, apart from the newer ones, I mean, yeah, but all these old fucking bags of shit. Take it to a laboratory somewhere and do some scientific experiments and just swab certain areas and see what you can find. And you'd probably find that at least about fucking 400 different types of human there's been in here. DNA. Yeah. Of all shapes and sizes. But yeah. What would be interesting to is if it was like doing that kind of thing and finding what types of germs, bacteria, all that nastiness that you really shouldn't be in here, like, you know what I mean? And that'd be something interesting, I think. And then maybe, just maybe, if all that was given to any company out there that does this, and say, yeah, this is what you're expected your employees to fucking drive. You know, this is what the environment is that they're working in. They should have hazmat suits, fucking breathing apparatus, and fucking goggles, and gloves for the contamination zone level fucking 4, like, you know what I mean? The CDC equipment, like, you know. Well, you know, it's just one of those things, and it's a thought. It's something that has actually crossed my mind, and quite a few times actually when you look at some of these things. But don't you think it would be interesting though to know, or would you rather be naive and oblivious to it all and not know? It's one of them, innit? Do you want to know what keeps making you sick, or do you just want to carry on regardless? Other than that though, this thing is one of those really slow ones. It does 51 miles an hour. 51. 50 fucking one. And I think I've mentioned this before, but doing 50 and 51 miles an hour really doesn't save anything. Doesn't save a thing. It's guaranteed to waste. That is one aspect of it. And what makes me laugh is that when you, as a driver, if you actually work it out, calculate what you do as a vehicle that drives really slow, unless, right, because there are exceptions to the rule, unless, like for instance of Sainsbury's, Tesco's, and I think Asda does it as well, right, even Morrison's, I think they do, they set their vehicles at either 50 or 52, whatever it is anyway. But because they have got allocated locations everywhere they go, right, it's always timed, so they know that their vehicle's set at that speed. At this point, if they leave now, they'll get to there, so because it's always going to be a fixed location. At general haulage, we are here, there and everywhere, aren't we? So, when you think about it logically, where is it that the only place that you're going to really go flat out? Okay, here we go. Dual carriageways or motorways. Dual carriageways, obviously, if it's signed to say so, but mainly motorways. Anywhere else, you are going to be at the same speed as no matter what vehicle you drive and how fast it actually goes. It's always going to be the same speed. So you only really lose it when you're on the motorway, which is where you don't want to lose it. See what I mean? Doesn't make sense, does it? So once you get onto a motorway from off the suburban shit, your A roads, I mean, even down the country lanes you can only do 50 miles an hour if it's signed to say so. But how is that fuel efficient? When you get onto the motorway, you're doing the same speed as you would be doing the fucking country lane, 50 miles an hour, or if you're doing 52 miles an hour. So from that point on, if you've got to drive 2 hours down the road, well, yeah, 2 hours down the road, 50 miles an hour, you do 50 miles. 52 miles, you do 52. You know what I mean? So at 56, you're doing 56 miles per hour. But if you've got to go the same distance as the bloke who's driving at 56, right, then that means that he's going to get there before you. At least I think he does. So that means then that he gets there before you do, especially if you're only doing 50 miles an hour. And he hasn't drove as much. Whereas the poor fucker who's doing 50 miles an hour, he has now drove that extra time to catch up, plus he's lost that drive time involved in that as well. So where's the save? Where does that save? I just don't get it. Maybe I'm not seeing it. I don't know. Just doesn't work for me. I mean, the way that some of the newer vehicles are geared anyway, there is no reason to have them doing fucking 50 and 52 miles an hour. It's like the DAFs that we've got. At 52 miles an hour, it's just under 1,000 fucking revs. Just under. To get it to do 56, it'd be just under 1,100. Wow. Are you really that fucking tight that you want to fucking save that fucking extra 100 revolutions per minute? Well, fuck me. Unbelievable. Yeah. That's it, kids. All become a lorry driver. You will love it. It's the fucking best job in the world, it is. At least that's what I try and fucking convince you. Yeah. Yeah, them days are gone. If you speak to any of the old timers that have been driving for like fucking 30 plus years, and you ask them about how it used to be back then, and then they would tell you that was the good old days. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, the technology in the vehicles was a complete sack of shit, and some of the drivers even probably remember, if they drove even longer than that, was their night eater was a big thick fucking quilt with a sleeping bag as well. Earmuffs and fucking woolly hat if they had to stop out, like, you know what I mean? Or even if they had ended up having no choice, they'd have the engine running. But yeah, as for obviously back then the traffic wasn't as much. That's obviously going to be a granted, and the limitations of the vehicles, that wasn't a thing either then, apparently back then. There was yeah, many a time our vehicles were going a lot faster than what they should have done, obviously, and then they decided to curb it, because instead of sticking to the speed limit, which has always been 60 miles an hour, some people just pushed it a little bit more than they should. And things do come undone then, don't they? You know what I mean? For the small minority of people that decide to take the piss, it ruins it for everybody else. But that's just a given for every aspect of life when you think about it, innit? You know what I mean? Oh dear. Talking about driving. See, I like driving, I do. Driving as just generally driving. I like to drive. Even because I've had my car fixed now, and I'll get in that and I'll go off and I'm up the road down and out. If I'm going to the pictures, if I want to go down to Birmingham, like, and I enjoy it. It's even as long as there ain't too much traffic about, but I do enjoy it. Off you go and toot along, and it's great. Listen to some music and it's fun. You know, I even like going on my bike sometimes whenever the weather's not bad, if I get a chance to. But yeah, I like the driving side of driving one of these things as well. This is okay to a point, but because it's a job, it sort of takes the fun away from me sometimes. And it's because you've got to get to a destination. It ain't like you can just stick the key in this and go, fuck it, I'm going to go up there today. You know, you just can't do that, can you? It'd be nice if you could, I suppose. But then again, you think to yourself, would you really want to do that? Are you that cuckoo that you want to just jump into an Arctic and just go for a drive somewhere? That's a strange one, isn't it? How many of you lot out there would love to do something like that? Oh dear. No, I mean, it's definitely lost its flair now, driving as this particular thing. This is a job. It's not as interesting as it used to be. I mean, even for me, I mean, when I first started doing the Class 1 stuff, because I was in the rigid, the Class 2, I thought to myself, I've got to get out this fucking Class 2 shit, because I can't do it. It's just ridiculous. Far too much of a demand. I don't get it. Yeah, pushing you too much on that one. Then I got into these and it was alright then. Back then it wasn't bad. I actually enjoyed it. Because the places we would go wouldn't be the same as going as a rigid driver. So you wouldn't get sent to stupid places. Not from me anyway. I know that there are companies out there that do send Class 1 drivers to places where you think to yourself, really? Have I really got to go down there? Is this going to fit in that hole? Are you sure? And then you have that fucking knuckle dragger that's never driven a truck in his life who works in this place. Oh, fucking truck drivers, they're always going down there, mate, you'll be fine. yeah, 3 cars and a fucking tree branch broken later, and then it's just fucking done, innit? You know what I mean? Never take advice from somebody who's never driven one of these. That's what I can say. That's a good bit of tip anyway. It's a handy one to have, isn't it, really? Have you ever driven a truck before? No, but I've seen them do it. I love that one, do you? Oh dear. Unbelievable. Yeah. So I'm having a conversation about it many a time about the driving as a general. I mean, it's who would want to do this job in the first place? And they keep saying that the demand for drivers is just so high. Yeah, it is. I mean, we need a shitload of drivers to do the job. So the more drivers we get, right, this is how it would work, or how it should work. The more drivers we get to fill the vacancies that are out there would reduce the pressure on the drivers that actually exist. And some of the older boys who are on the way from retiring, because there's another thing you got to think about. I mean, some of the drivers out there, and we have a few of the drivers of our own that are surpassed the retirement stage, which is 65, and they're knocking on past 70, you know what I mean, and they're still driving. But eventually there's going to come a point where these guys are going to say, that's it now, we're done, we can't do it no more. And if you have this mass exodus of drivers that are leaving because it's retirement time, right, or physically too old to do the fucking job, but they don't want to leave, you know what I mean, because you can probably end up getting that as well scenario. Who's going to replace them, right? Who is going to replace them? Because we're not getting the same amount of people coming into this profession that are actually leaving it. So the plight of we need more drivers, well, I've got a good answer for that one. You need to change the way that the attitude towards drivers are. You need to change the way that the business, the whole fucking industry is run, and make it more appealing to new drivers out there instead of deterring drivers out there. And I say deterring by the likes of, you're not classed as a professional driver until something goes wrong, right? That's a fucking given, right? If you fuck up, oh, that professional driver, he should have known fucking better than doing that shit, running up the back end of somebody who was just cut in front of him, and he's got all that around him and he can't fucking brake quick enough, but he's still a professional driver, he should have known better. Yeah, okay. When you're caught doing something that you shouldn't be doing anyway, right, well, say, for instance, bald tyres. Yes, you are supposed to do your checks and all that sort of shit. I mean, sometimes these tyres can be recut to the point where they're down to the fucking wire, and you may miss sections of it because the tyres they're not exactly perfect circles, believe it or not. And you could have a bit of wire on one section of where it's been recut, and the rest of it's alright, but you may have missed that bit, and you can get done for that. You can get points on your licence. If your tyres are bald and you're driving with them bald, then you're a fucking idiot anyway. But again, you lose your licence because you're going to have every tyre that's knackered. You only need fucking, what is it? 3, 6, 9, 4 tyres. Your licence is gone for the X amount of time. They may actually push it and give you a massive fine for it, but do you want all those points on your licence? It's fucking terrible, isn't it? Yeah. Then they bring out these stupid rules where you must strap every fucking pallet. Strap the lot. It's got to have a net over it. Chuck a fucking line out there. Put a ratchet over it. Stick a bang on it. Yeah, they make this shit up as they go along, I'm sure they do. Because my question when they come to those kind of things is apparently something to do with it's I'm not 100% sure, but if every pallet hasn't got a strap on it, right, I think it was something like 50 quid, I think it was, or maybe, I don't know. There was a fine involved. You don't get points on your licence, thankfully, but you do get fined. But there's got to be a point where, well, this particular load you carry in one of these taut liners, if it was on a flatbed, then fucking fine. Shove a net over it, stick a ratchet over it, done. But inside a taut liners, there's a certain aspect of pallets that you can carry that putting a strap over them is pointless, right? It is absolutely pointless. We used to carry stuff from the likes of Booker, and they would literally pack pallets of all sorts of higgledy-piggledy shit, right? You've got nowhere to strap it. You can't throw a strap over the top of it because you'd fuck it up. You can't put the internal straps down the front of it because there's nothing for the internal strap to lean against. So you know, you're fighting a losing battle on that one as far as I'm concerned. Toilet roll, when you carry toilet roll, then you have those double stacked. Now there's a product that needs to be strapped, right? And it has to be strapped in a certain way. Some companies prefer to do every two down each side. But if you strap the back of it properly, that's all you need. But then again, does anybody know how to strap the back of the toilet roll properly? Probably not, because no one's fucking bothered to take a few minutes and say, this is how it's supposed to be done. And of course, then the fucking thing will collapse inside the trailer. But it doesn't go anywhere, apart from in the trailer, it just falls apart. But when you see the excuse of, well, if it was strapped, that vehicle that's now on its side wouldn't have gone on its side because the load wouldn't have shifted. And I'm like, hold on a minute, the load has shifted. Okay, how fast was that individual going around that particular bend for the load to shift? Because if he was driving as a professional driver should do, he should know that that bend up there that is just in the road, that he shouldn't be attacking it at the speed he had done with the load he's carrying. Does that make sense to you? So of course what they do now is they go, right, you've got to strap everything up, dumbing down the skill of the driver, because they can't be 100% sure that the driver is going to actually drive round these particular corners, islands or whatever, junctions at the right speed, so the vehicle doesn't get thrown over. So why on earth would we allow that to happen? Oh, I know why. Because they can make money off it. Simple as that. I mean, I've seen pictures on the internet of vehicles with all the straps down the side of each individual pallet. Not that you would notice that because it's on its side and all the shit's on the floor. But there's the fucking straps, with the roof being collapsed down and the bars being pushed out, but the straps are there. And yet the shit's still out on the fucking road. So what did the straps do in the end? Fuck all. This person here that sits behind this thing here, this fucking circle, he's the one who gauges and governs how that load is carried from point A to point B. If he hasn't got the fucking mental power to recognise what he's pulling and how to handle a vehicle in that situation, he shouldn't be a driver. But of course they keep putting all this on, all these rules change, all these different aspects, all the fines that you can get. Do you really want to be a driver? Do you? Well, come and join the fun then, sunshine, because you're gonna fucking love it. But no sooner as you fuck up and you're the one who's having to pay the price. Oh, and the other one as well, if taco infringements, for argument's sake, if obviously not all, right, it's not that bad in the sense that if you have the odd couple here and there now and again that we've just done 4 hours fucking 40 minutes, and you know, you haven't got to panic about that too much. If it becomes a habit and you're doing it far too much, then they'll go, hang on a minute, this is a bit of a fucking pattern here, and then they will have you, right, and you'll be up against the traffic commission and she'll go, there you are, unfortunately you're done. There's your whacking great stupid fine. It's not something that you can actually afford. It's the kind of fine that will cripple you for fuck knows how long, and you have to pay it bump just like that. And if it comes to the point where you cannot pay it bump like that, it is taken out of your wages, right? You don't have a fucking say in the matter. right? They take a percentage of your wages each week or each month, whatever it is, until that fine is paid. But the percentage they take out of you, I have no idea. But I'll tell you now, I don't suppose it'll leave you much for the fucking time being. And you can also then get banned from driving with those kind of offences. So that means you can't earn any money to pay the fine that you've just accrued because you've been over driving trying to earn money. You know what I mean? I tell you what, sometimes it's such a laugh at it driving these things. Being a lorry driver, that's such a wonderful company to have, such a awesome industry to be part of. Oh dear. But hey, such is life. You know what I mean? I love it, I do. I think it's great. You got to open people's eyes up to it, you know. I mean, I'm in one situation, there'll be somebody who drives for another company who'll be in a completely different situation. There are companies out there that don't really have any kind of hassle at all with any kind of aspect of the job that they do. I mean, there's always going to be that exception to the rule. There always will be. But as far as from my experience, even though I have only ever worked for this one company, I do talk to other people and listen to what they say. And it's all the same when it comes to general haulage. Everything is the same. Scrapping for the same piece of work. Trying to outdo the next person. The bigger ones, obviously, the bigger companies, they tend to win outright, you know, into a point. But then you find is then the smaller companies get subbed into the stuff that they've already lost. Like, you know, it's fucking weird. I don't know. Do I know what I'm talking about? Probably not. But every time I'm asked that question, it fucking sends me on a right tangent. Would you recommend lorry driving as a profession? Well, you fucked up straight away there anyway, haven't you? First off, it isn't a fucking profession. No, it is a job. Yes, I'll give you that. It's a job that if it's all backwards in it, because it's the type of job where you have to pay to be able to drive one of these things. How is that fair? How is that fair that you have to fork out all that money to get the privilege to drive one of these fucking things and then to earn money? See, I never really thought of it that way. It seems this a new one on me. I don't know, fucking hell. That's really fucking put me off, that has. Good grief. So you have to spend your own money to get the licence to drive one of these things, only to have the shit and fucking hassle after it. That's great though, isn't it? Don't you just love it? I do. I think it's fucking brilliant. Yeah, it keeps you thinking, I suppose, doesn't it? I know that there's a couple of you drivers out there who've or should I say subbies out there who have says that I love this bloke, he's down to earth, he tells us it is. Oh, I won't tell you as it is. I'll give you my opinion how I think it should be, or as it comes across to me as it is. Is that good enough though, do you think? What do you reckon? And doing this wobbling on has sort of took my mind off my stomach, so I'm alright, I don't mind that. I like to have a bit of a natter now and again. And when I'm in the mood for wobbling on about something that really fucks me off, I will do. Well, now that some of you are desperate for a drive-along video as well, but, yeah, I know. It's fucking naff, isn't it? Let me just try, I'm going to check something first. Let me just have a look. The old twat nav. Because with them being here, I've got to go up to they class it as Rugby, and yet it's in Daventry, which is next to Crick, if that makes any fucking sense. It's all the same fucking area. Really weird. I don't know if I've actually got recent thingies. Which one was it? where we are now, so we take that one. Take that one, is it? No, take that one. Oh, here we are. That's good enough. That'll do. Okay, calculate. Tesco Daventry. From here to there is only 35 miles. Thereabouts. It's not bad though, is it? Which way would it take me though? Let's have a look. Because I'm at junction 10. Would it send me down across? It is the 43, is it? Would it send me across the 43? Because I think that brings out, it's around about 15ish or 16, is it? So on the M1, I'm not sure now. We'll have a look. Let's minus that. So, now it's sending me back up. That's good news, eh? To a point. Yeah, it's sending me back up to 40. Hang on. Hold the phone. There it is. Yeah, up to the M6, I should imagine. Ah, yes. The obligatory. Up the M6, turn around at junction 1 and come all the way back down again. What a fucking waste of fucking fuel that is. Yeah, it's alright, I know what that is. No, I don't need this on. No. When I was doing that, just a quick fucking swap of conversation. You know when they was building the that intersection at the M6, M1 and the A14, was anybody else other than me expecting them to do M6 South, M1 North, A14, which they've already done, and then M6 South for M1, and then flip it round and you do A14 South M1, A14 M6, which they've done, and I think they've also got A14 North M1, haven't they, as well, I think. Have they? I'm not thinking it. I think they have. I think. Yeah, because it goes up and out the top, doesn't it? Yeah. And then, what was it? Southbound on the M1 would be, you've got 14. And I think you've got, I think the 6 as well comes off that. So you've got 14 and 6, that's fine. Going southbound, I think you've got that. I think. Or have you? I mean, actually, I don't think you have. Unless you, yeah, you might because you're 100, don't you? But it seems to me that they missed those two main aspects, which is what I thought they would have done, especially the M6 southbound and doing a north to the M1. I mean, I don't know why they didn't do that. It's fucking bonkers. What they want you to do is, to get north, they want you to get off at the junction 1, chuck a left, drive up the road there to the A5, and then you end up going through that. Is it Lutterworth? I think it puts you on at junction 22. Is it 22? No, that don't make sense. Junction 20, sorry. Puts you on at junction 20 of the M1, because obviously the section's 19 out there. So I think that's what it does. And but you have to go through all that fucking crap, don't you? And I don't get that. Wouldn't it be much easier? Because from 1 to the end of the M6, it ain't that much of a distance, is it? You'd have thought to fuck all that lot off and make it simple, just drive down and fuck off up the M1. They didn't do it. And it's the same with the A14. Why didn't they make an A14 south to the M1? There was plenty of room for it. Why not do that? Oh, such a fucking waste. I was like, this is awesome. And then it's like, yeah, it's like when you're dying for a shit, like, and all I've done is just a little pebble pops there. It's like, that's the kind of sort of like, is that it? Fuck. After all that climax, like, what the fuck? Oh, anticipation and nothing happens. Fuck's sake. Never mind. Never mind. Oh dear. Never mind. Well, I'm gonna go. I think I've waffled on enough, don't you? And I'd like to see some of you lot become drivers in the near future if you get old enough, and you can see for yourself. But for those who are really young, you never know, the fucking things might be driving themselves by that time. So personally though, I think what would really be the thing that I think they ought to be focusing their technological prowess on is transporter technology. Now that's what we need, so it can come from the fucking manufacturer, go straight to the fucking shop, you know, and that would be perfect. Or even better still, fucking replicators. I mean, what, you wouldn't need to worry about shops anymore, would you? That's what you're doing, you know what I mean? Earl Grey, you know what I mean? It's fucking done. Right. I'm going. So I've got to go back in again now. Right. I'll speak to you later. Have a good day. And enjoy the sunshine, because it's very nice out here. Right. Ta-da! See you later.